Toronto with just one win in their last 9. The top line, -14, -17, -12. The worst on the Ottawa Senators is -10 by Alex Chiasson. Chris Simpson in Ottawa.
Well, Darren, there's blue and white in this sea of red at the Canadian Tire Centre. Tonight's game between the Ottawa Senators and the Maple Leafs, final game for both before the All-Star break. It'll be Jim Houston, Craig Simpson, and Glenn Healy with the call. But first, let's send it to public address announcer Stu Schwartz.
Craig Anderson. Ladies and gentlemen, mesdames, messieurs, please rise and remove your hats. This past Saturday, Constable David Wynn and his partner, Auxiliary Constable Derek Bond, were responding to a routine investigation when both were involved in a shooting. Constable Bond would be injured in the exchange, while Constable Wynn was shot and never regained consciousness, passing away this morning. S'il vous plaît, rejoignez les Maple Leafs de Toronto et les Sénateurs d'Ottawa dans un moment de silence. Please join the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Ottawa Senators in a moment of silence. Merci. Thank you. Please join Angela Marie as she performs O Canada. Et maintenant, joignez-vous à Angela Marie pour l'interprétation de l'hymne national.
Oh Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all thy sons command, car ton bras est porté l'épée, il sait porter la croix, ton histoire est une épopée des plus brillants exploits. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
On a cold winter night, the temperature sits around -11. That's roughly where tonight's teams are in relation to the playoffs. So let's just pretend for a night that the winner of this game gets a playoff spot and the loser is out, and hope that the players are thinking the same way as we are. James Reimer is in goal tonight because the stats say it's a good idea. 10-2-1 against Ottawa, 8-1 here for James Reimer. Craig Anderson starts for the 7th time in 8 games, and only the 2nd time this season he's gone on consecutive days, but then no point in resting him at this point. The referees tonight, Mark Jeanette and Frederick Lequier, Matt McPherson, and Don Henderson are the linesmen. So, make sure your sweaters are tied down, and let's get this underway. The Ottawa Senators and the Toronto Maple Leafs for the 2nd time this season. The last time they met November 9th, Toronto won in here 5-3. They'll start Tyler Bozak at center, Daniel Winnick on the left side, and David Clarkson on the right side. And Peter Horacek's different look lines. Jean-Gabriel Pageau with Alex Chiasson and And Milan Michalek, who scored last night on for Ottawa. And Chasson, number 90, gets into the attacking zone against Dion Phaneuf, and Cody Franson, a centering pass knocked down by Franson. And that allows the Maple Leafs to break out with 3 players through center. Daniel Winnick forechecking. Mark Method is back with Erik Karlsson. Onto the ice comes Morgan Rielly. Paired tonight, at least on this first shift, with Jake Gardiner, so the 2 young guys play together. An outlet pass, and here's Pajot, checked and knocked down by David Clarkson, and in comes Bozak. He's got nobody with him. Now it's Jake Gardiner jumping up with the defenseman, the other defenseman, Morgan Rielly. And Gardiner chased in behind the net by Erik Karlsson, drops the puck off for Bozak. Kessel has come on, so is James Van Riemsdyk, and Bozak is about to change. There's Bill Kessel. Checked by Erik Karlsson, who puts the puck up the boards. Pinching down, trying to hold the puck in is Morgan Rielly, and he did it. Kessel open in front of the net. Little spinorama by Jake Gardiner, and a backhand shot slid just wide of the net. Kessel threw the puck back to the blue line. Quickly to get there and keep it in is Gardiner. Here's Kessel with a screen in front, takes the shot, and Anderson makes his first save with Van Riemsdyk screening. And late in his shift, Alex Chasson, who got caught on the ice for a minute and a half, first shift of the game, finally put the puck down the ice.
What I like there from the Leafs is the fact that their defense got very aggressive and were involved. They jumped in 3 times and created good chances.
Jared Cowan just about left the puck behind. Now he retreats defensively. There's a breakaway pass. Kessel missed the net and looks skyward as he gets a wonderful opportunity on a terrific pass. And that's the Leafs the last 5 games, isn't it? Nazem Kadri's after the puck.
And there's, as Elliott was talking about in studio, Kessel reading that play, the turnover of the puck, and he took off and got himself open.
What a shot by Mike Hoffman. Great chance one end, goal at the other, and the red-hot Hoffman has his 16th goal of the season. Ottawa's up 1-0.
And what a shocker. The Senators were back on their heels for most of the start of this period. An excellent play by Van Riemsdyk, a laser pass through, and there's the troubles of Kessel. You can see looking skyward, a little bit frustrated, and then a seemingly innocent-looking play. Good heads up. Ceci in the middle, Stone with a nice backhand, and this is one that just fools James Reimer. Through a crowd, through the legs of Polak, and up and underneath the bar in a perfectly placed shot. Hoffman, who's been hot, makes a perfect shot there.
There's a reason why he's headed off to the All-Star game to be in the skills competition. 16 even strength goals. What a rookie season for Mike Hoffman. Put up back with the puck kick is Zibanejad. Forechecking here. He's out with Hoffman and Bobby Ryan. And the Senators with a 1-0 lead. Put the puck back in deep. Dion Phaneuf is back for it. Zibanejad forechecking, trying to chop the puck in front of the net. Couldn't Mike. Santorelli takes over. Mike's back at center tonight off of the wing, and he's centering a line with Richard Panik, and Josh Leivo just called up. Leafs on a change. Eric Conroe with a hard shot. And that's stopped by James Reimer.
That's a big save for Reimer, too, getting rattled. The first one goes by, and that second one was a challenging shot to save.
Morgan Rielly is back, keep the puck away along the boards, and Eric Condra takes over. He's got Curtis Lazar with him. Back in the lineup tonight, the 19-year-old has wingers Chris Neal and Eric Condra, and they're after the puck. Condra had the great shot, and he almost got a great chance there. A little chip to center. David Booth stops up, trying to hit the trailer on the play, and Chris Neal intercepted the pass, sends Condra away to center. Through the middle of the ice, here's Erik Karlsson. Gets the puck deep. Did a good job to make sure his teammates could change. Matt Fratton trying to advance the puck for Toronto. Jared Cowan takes over, 3.5 minutes into the game. Jean-Gabriel Pajot, number 44, snaps a shot. Good idea after that first goal to put the puck on net, and James Reimer makes the save and hangs on.
Well, guys, it's been the story of the Leaf season under Pete Horacek. You tell me what the best scoring chance is. Is it the Kessel breakaway, or is it a 40-foot shot that eludes James Reimer? Clearly, the breakaway is the better scoring chance, and that's the way it was against Carolina. Scoring chances were well in the Leafs' favor. 10-3 in the third period, but no result. Slow start, and now for the 6th straight game, the Leafs are chasing the game. They need some puck luck.
Indeed, 6 straight games giving up the first goal. There's Kyle Turris with a face-off win. Ceci, who had an assist on the goal, got the puck to Clark MacArthur. His shot went off a skate. Here's Turris. Centering pass. Cowan with a shot. Tipped right on. Loose puck. And the Leafs are able to get that and move it away from the front of their net. Quickly through center, Josh Leivo. Up from the AHL, Mike Santorelli is his center. And Richard Connick bounces the puck back to the blue line, and Dion Phaneuf can't hold the line. Stone hit him. Through the middle is Kyle Turris. Clark MacArthur left the puck behind when he looked up, and now he's chased out to center by Leivo. Leivo's been playing in a very good line with Connor Brown, who's headed to the AHL All-Star game. Here's a centering pass, and Connick was checked. And the Senators poked the puck back out to center. Quick changes, quick pace. Jake Gardiner in over the blue line for Toronto. Anderson out to play the puck. Senators captain Erik Karlsson moved the puck to center. Gardner knocked it away there. Here's Daniel Winnick. David Clarkson snaps a shot, missed the net. Their center Tyler Bozak couldn't come up with a puck. One and done, and the Senators are back through center. Zibanejad trying to stick handle to the net, and Jake Gardiner checked him. James Reimer pounced on the puck 5 minutes in. The keys to the game tonight brought to you by Tim Hortons. If scoring first was one of them, it's already happened.
Yeah, and for the Toronto Maple Leafs, you have to collectively find some way to get your confidence back. No swagger for the Leafs, no energy, and right now, having played last night, Ottawa's come in and they've had the energy. They've been able to keep the pace going offensively. Jim, they survived the first mistake with the Kessel breakaway, but since then, they've really upped the pace of their game.
5-2, they've outshot Toronto. Right after that goal, they just started firing everything in the net. As Kadri won the draw, he's playing with Kessel and Van Riemsdyk, and the puck is out of play, stopping play.
I think right now for Peter Horacek behind the Leaf bench, it's about managing the emotions of this team. You see him juggling the lines a little bit. You move Bozak down and you move Kadri up, but nothing has gone well. The team's confidence is low, and you're just hoping right now that you can get something to build off of and give that bench some life.
Well, you think about even the breakaway by Phil Kessel. When have you seen him shoot stick side low on a breakaway? Never. Top part of the net, in with a lot of authority. It's off the stick in a hurry.
There's a centering pass, and Kadri had his stick checked, so the puck came right off it. Milan McCollum. There's an aerial for Chiasson to race onto it, and he got to the puck and just dumped it in, and 44 took 44 out pretty hard. Riley on Pajot. Kadri turned the puck over trying to carry it out, and it's put right on, and Reimer makes the save.
Boy, Reimer's had to really respond after giving up that first shot. He's had lots of good looks where the Senators putting pressure once again, and these are the little plays. This isn't about coverage or playing the right position. It's about battle. And right now, the red sweaters are out battling the white ones. And Kadri far too nonchalant there. The turnover creates a great chance.
Trevor Smith to face off, and he beat Curtis Lazar on the draw, so the Maple Leafs have possession. Polak's outlet pass went off of David Booth and down the ice on Craig Anderson. First man back, Jared Cowan. Lazar stripped to the puck by Trevor Smith from the blue line. Polak paired on defense with Stuart Percy. He's the other player along with Leivo, called up from the American Hockey League, wearing number 50. There's number 10 in the American League. And he helped hold the puck in here. Matt Fratton centering pass, and up front Smith couldn't come up with the puck. Conrad just about turned it over, didn't get out of the line. Fratton kept it in off the skates of Smith. And Trevor Smith chases the puck into the corner that turned it over, trying to cycle it back. Good fourth line shift here for Toronto against the fourth line of the Senators.
If you're on the Toronto bench, it's the top lines that got to start getting the offense going. You follow up a good fourth line shift with a good top line.
Right now they have four lines. So you can write the top line on the sheet all you want. Nobody's scoring. This guy here, 1 goal in 9 games.
Now dropped to 17th in National Hockey League scoring. Although you know with Phil Kessel, he can pick up that pace in about a week. Mike Hoffman has his 16th goal of the season. Ottawa has the lead 1-0 over Toronto on Scotiabank Wednesday Night Hockey. Phil Kessel missed on a breakaway. Mike Hoffman scored. What did you see on that breakaway, Heels?
Well, here's what I do like. These two shots are from inside 30 feet. That one for sure, and this one rolling puck, but about 6 feet away. The Leafs woes in January are 56% of their shots are from 30 feet and out. You are not beating Craig Anderson from 30. You're not beating Glenn Healy from 30 feet and out.
Oh, I don't know.
Okay, well, maybe I'll hold back.
Debate.
I've gone outrageous now, radical. But no, you've got to get inside, and there's two big chances where the best scorer in the game, in this game anyways, got inside looks. No result.
They've only had 3 shots early on. Daniel Winnick with a dish trying to get it through Bozak, and it wouldn't go. Through this long drought that Toronto's been in, Winnick's probably been their best forward. On the ice now with David Clarkson, Tyler Bozak.
And seemingly the guys who got the good scoring chances were not your top goal scorers, were they? Carrick got a number of them as well when he was there.
And he, for his efforts, is back in the American Hockey League. Morgan Riley around the boards for David Clarkson, pinching down on him. Mark Mathot. Mark MacArthur checked along the boards as Kyle Turris line plays against Tyler Bozak's group. And his off wing, Daniel Winnick goes to the net, and again that pass didn't get through, knocked down by the Senators, and back comes Kyle Turris. Backhander in to facilitate a change. And that's an icing call, so that group won't be able to change. Be sure to tune to the CHL Top Prospects game, Timor against Team Cherry. That's tomorrow at 7 Eastern Time, 4 Pacific on Sportsnet.
Watch the great skating of Karlsson. When you're a good skater, he closes you down. You have no gap. You have no chance to make a play. Just another example of some of the good defensive side of Karlsson. We see the offensive side. There's a good defensive.
Look out for this guy. Here's Hoffman again with his shot. Another chance by Zibanejad, and that's stopped by James Reimer. That first shot looked like it deflected and just about fooled Reimer. Hoffman just about had a second one.
He shoots the puck from ice level. That thing is dancing off his stick.
Here's Patrick Wierkoch back into the lineup tonight at the expense of veteran Chris Phillips, who's scratched again. Curtis Lazar got in, and David Legwand is scratched as well. So there's about 2,000 games scratched and out of the lineup for Ottawa tonight. And they get a little younger, especially down the middle of the ice.
You know how old David Legwand is. He's got 3 goals against the Leafs. One of them is against me. It was the first ever of his career. That would be considered very old.
A long time ago.
And Phillips, Simmer, we both probably remember playing against him.
Quickly to center, here's Mike Santorelli. Dumps the puck in deep. Josh Leibo's with him. This should be a good, quick line. With Panik, Santorelli, and Leibo. Santorelli got hit by Chris Neal. Richard Panik. Leibo on the forecheck. And Cody Ceci gets the puck for Ottawa. Stuart Percy dumped it right back in when he got it at center.
A lot of talk of the big guys not scoring for Toronto. How about Santorelli? Remember December? He was the top scorer in the league. Tied with Tyler Johnson. That's dried up in a hurry.
Well, there hasn't been anybody in lineup who's been hot. Here's a quick centering pass, and Chiasson, who hasn't scored in 15, had that one blocked as he tried to get it away. Alex Chiasson back to the blue line. Mark Mathot just holds the puck in. He's got Karlsson, his regular partner, over on the other side. Josh Leibo. Pass across the ice, got it off the boards and out to center. Richard Panik, end of his shift, dumps the puck in on Craig Anderson.
Guys, Ottawa showing no signs of having played last night. In fact, they look a little bit sharper, a little bit more energy than the Leafs.
Here's the shooting. Chiasson with a centering pass that comes over from Mathot. The Leafs beat him to it, and after the puck is Tyler Bozak, but smoothly getting back was Erik Karlsson. Chiasson off the wing, takes the slap shot, deflected wide by Jake Gardiner. Now Gardiner wants to join the rush. Daniel Winnick has Gardiner with it, gives him the puck. Gardiner's shot deflects up high and into the netting. Halfway through the first period, 8-5 of the shots for Ottawa. 1-0 is the score for the Senators on Wednesday Night Hockey for Scotiabank. No matter where they are in the standings, you can usually count on a little emotion in these games.
Well, Chris Neil knows what the Battle of Ontario is all about. He played in them, those playoff series that weren't very good. Now there's a slightly watered-down version of the Battle of Ontario. Going to the All-Star game? Yeah, I am, Bobby Ryan. I don't care. Chris Neil missed 16 games. He's come back. He's always a factor in these games. One of the real leaders on the team. This Ottawa team is so young. Very few guys that are over the age of 30. And when they are, some of them are scratches like Phillips. So they're learning as they go. But from what I see early, they look quick, fast, and they look like they've got stranglehold on this game right off the bat.
You think about young players like Pajot in the lineup and Stone and Mike Hoffman, and wonder how good this team would be if 19 and 11 were still here playing.
Yeah, they could have been depth players that might put them over the edge. Instead, they've got to find a way to become the leaders on this team.
Here's Jake Gardiner, speaking of young players, paired with Morgan Riley tonight. They've had a few games like that. Walking out, winning. Here's a chance for Gardiner, and he's stopped by Anderson. And more players in white sweaters are looking skyward after another failed attempt to score.
A nice job of Winnick taking it hard to the net from out of the corner. He won the battle, little cycle down low, and a good read again coming in from the point by Gardiner. But Anderson, good positional save. He got up quickly, the seas parted, and he had no bodies in front of him to make that save. He had a clear view of it.
Just great instinct by Gardiner. You can see his mind operate as he knows the puck's making its way to the front. He's already on his horse. That's probably a good reason why the two of them are playing together, Gardiner and Riley. They both think the same way.
They've got some good jump tonight, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
They both look pretty good. Gardiner is a great skater who sometimes wants to play the game slow, but he's playing it pretty quick early on. Cody Franson. Has him Kadri to Dion Phaneuf. Dumps the puck in for Toronto. And Riemsdyk, Kadri, Kessel in on the forecheck. Martin Mathot beats the forecheck, makes the play to center. Zibanejad had the puck skip over his stick at center ice. Back the other way, Van Riemsdyk drops the puck off for Kadri. His shot hit the stick of Mathot and went wide. This is a breakout play for Bobby Ryan. Here's a 3-on-1. Carlson, Hoffman, Carlson scores! Pretty goal, but a 3-on-1, and it's 2-0 Ottawa.
You saw the face of Peter Horacek there. Just the aggressiveness offensively, a bad pinch. This is a turnover puck and an opportunity to go back the other way. Instead, it's a breakdown in the offensive zone. Franson with an errant pinch gets caught in. Look at the three Leafs down low. Forwards all get caught. A 3-on-1, perfectly executed. One pass, no look back, and not a chance in the world for James Reimer as a perfectly placed pass by Hoffman. Showing again he can score, but he can also make plays.
We saw the James Reimer view from our net cam for LASIK MD. On the 2-0 goal, what a great play by Bobby Ryan is to bump that puck into the middle and spring them on a 3-on-1.
You need that middle presence, don't you? That drive through the middle opened up the passing lane. But Jim, that's been what's plaguing this team again, is those, talk about trying to play a defensive game, it's about the reads. You're trying to be creating offense by making a pinch, but looking in front and saying nobody's covering you back.
Carlson from Hoffman and Ryan, two of the three headed for the All-Star game, and all three probably should. Especially the way Carlson's been playing lately.
Well, you want a bad pinch, take it against this line, the Condor line.
Yeah.
You know, you got Bobby Ryan who's going to the All-Star game, and Carlson, for whatever reason, I don't know, he's not going. Can't figure that out. That's just the wrong guys to be gambling with when they're on the ice.
And another tough play for Dion Phaneuf and Cody Franson, and they've had a lot of them in the last 10 games.
Because here's what happens, you know, and Carlson's getting his skate fixed, and we're going to show you why. This happens with great players all the time. There, he blows a tire, puck goes exactly the other way, right to the captain, and he ends up finishing the deal. And you play with Gretz, you play with Ness, isn't that the way it goes? Puck just follows him around for whatever reason.
Look at how prepared he was, though. When he passed that away, he knew it was coming right back. So the pass back didn't surprise him. The shot was ready and loaded, and there was no hesitation.
Don't you like the fact that even though he had an open net, he hammered it into the back of the net?
No leave to chance for a spectacular save by the goaltender.
So the shots are 10-7, scored 2-0, both in favor of Ottawa, and they look sharp. Pageau, the Leafs look like they may never, ever score again.
And you look at body language, there's been a lot of talk about that over the last couple of days.
Pageau plays the puck back to the blue line. Patrick Wiercock scratched last night. Milan McCulloch worked over by Dion Phaneuf. Up the boards comes the puck, and Daniel Winnick will move it out. Still a battle between Phaneuf and McCulloch behind the play, and McCulloch's had enough. He got whacked and pushed against the boards, and he finally had enough, and he came up swinging, and now it's Dion Phaneuf doing most of the swinging.
There you saw Phaneuf and Stahl the other night as Carolina was in town going at it, and this one looked like it was going to break up. A little tussle as they were well behind the play. And McCulloch ended up being a little bit of the aggressor, and gloves came off. Not much came of it.
There'll be another chapter in this for sure. The number that Phaneuf really should be looking at it is he's been on the ice for 63 goals against only Jack Johnson's been on the ice more. 2-0 goal was another one.
Dion gets in a scrap occasionally. McCulloch seldom does.
Well, it starts in the offensive mindset for McCulloch. He takes a couple of whacks, a couple of hacks, a little cross check, and gets spilled down. And instead of staying down, you can see the official watching it. There's a slash, there's a spear, and then gloves came off. McCulloch was down and just trying to hold on and not get hit with a flurry of punches there.
Interested to see how Mark Jonette and Frederic Lecuyer sort this one out, because there were a whole bunch of penalties there, weren't there?
Didn't you think Glenn Jonette saw that spear first, and then that's when he blew the whistle?
Yeah, and I'm sure Greiva's not happy that he's got his veteran player, one of the guys who's over 30 on his knees, and you're teeing off on him. So there's a response. There's a verbal response to start, and then I'm sure there will be a physical response at some point.
Phaneuf has gone to the dressing room. McCulloch is in the penalty box. And we await the paperwork from the referee.
As we saw Dave Cameron there behind the Ottawa bench, I really like the fact that Anderson's going back-to-back here. Glenn, don't you think it sends the right message to this team? They're not giving up. They got to get themselves back into a little bit of a race here. And forget about the analytics there. You got a break coming up. Get your top guy in there.
He is one of the best goaltenders in the world. Hey, Lehner at some point is going to be a really good goaltender. He's only 23 years old. Don't force it. Yeah, he won a Calder Cup at 19. It takes time to be a goalie in the NHL. Anderson, the last time the Leafs played, didn't play. Played Winnipeg the night before. You went with Lehner, 5 goals on 30 shots, you gave away 2 points.
There goes Erik Karlsson again. Could be a 3-on-1 again. Clark MacArthur centering pass. Broken up by Percy, and still with a shot was Kyle Turris. As these teams play 5-on-5, the penalties were offsetting. McCulloch has now gone to the dressing room as well.
As he usually goes, Percy was the one that tripped and fell, and he was the fastest guy coming back. Came back and broke up that 3-on-2.
Stone into the middle. Turris tried to pass to MacArthur, intercepted by Kessel. Karlsson looks like a different player than he was earlier in the season. Here's Kadri, snaps a shot. Anderson makes the save. He looks like a guy who won a Norris Trophy as he led another rush. He scored the last goal to make it 2-0 for Ottawa on Scotiabank Wednesday Night Hockey. Wednesday Night Hockey from Chile, Ottawa, where Mike Hoffman has a goal and an assist. His 2 points tie him for third with Mark Stone in rookie scoring.
After a missed breakaway by Phil Kessel, back the other way as Hoffman rifles one up and over the glove. An errant pinch by Franson, a well-executed 3-on-2, and Karlsson gets on the board. He's scored a couple goals in his last 3 games to give the Ottawa Senators 2-0 lead.
Zibanejad facing off against Tyler Bozak.
Jim, the 8th time in a row now the Toronto Maple Leafs have given up that first goal. Always playing from behind, no confidence to take a lead early.
Bobby Ryan lost control of the puck. There's another chance for the Maple Leafs, and Tyler Bozak shot just wide. Jared Cowan along the boards gets some help. Bobby Ryan to center. He's got Hoffman on his left. Zibanejad coming up on his right. And the puck is dumped in, and the Senators will forecheck. Morgan Riley, Jake Gardiner, the defensive pair back. Now Riley picks up some speed, gets by Hoffman, throws the puck into the middle, but it's tipped out of play off the stick of Tyler Bozak.
A couple good sights on both benches. Jason Smith, he's an ex-Toronto Maple Leaf. Young guy, just left the game. He's got to work with young players. On the other bench, Steve Stales. Can you imagine when they made the coaching change? He's working with the Marlies, little player development, stick my toe in the water, knock on the glass. We want to talk to you. You're now going to be on the bench, and you're going to teach, and you're going to coach. And I think, Simmer, you know better than anybody. How many hours do you have to put in as a coach in this league?
Well, two players that I was fortunate to coach, and both players understand the challenges of trying to do a rebuild and go through some tough times. So they'll be a very valuable voice in both those rooms.
Go from, what, 40-hour weeks to 140-hour weeks. There you go. Careful what you wish for. You may get it.
Both of them new to wearing a suit behind the bench, but not new to the bench at all. Josh Levo with a shoot-in. Back is Eric Gryba up the boards. Curtis Lazar starts a breakout with a nice little play to Condra, and he'll dump it in. And Ottawa starts to change. Cody Franson. Richard Panik couldn't control the pass, and Ottawa has the puck again. Carlson's come back on with Mathot, with the tourist line up front. And there's an icing call against the Ottawa Senators, so they'll bring the puck back into their end.
Well, you saw another example of just the calm nerves of Erik Karlsson. And, you know, good players, you look up, you're getting pressure. Instead of just throwing the puck away in the neutral zone, he just circles himself back. Jim, you were talking earlier, I think you're right, with the new coaching change and a new reset button, he looks like the player he's been a couple of years in a row.
I don't quite get this, though, guys. You need a goal. You've got an icing. You bring on a fourth line. Stratton's got 3 shots all year. That's going to get you out of this game.
And you take a penalty.
Yeah, that didn't work out very well at all, did it?
No. Next chapter.
I agree. You wonder what you've gone through as a coach and how many discussions you've had with your top players to try to get them going. But at the end of the day, you need the offense. And I agree with you, Glenn. I would have loaded up there for a chance. Instead, you can see Polak didn't even go for the puck. The puck went by him there, and that's a penalty 100 times out of 100, and the exasperated look by Peter Horacek behind the bench.
So Ottawa's power play 19th in the league, 1 for 9 over the last 3 games, goes to work, and Erik Karlsson will be on that. Kyle Turris up front, Clark MacArthur, and the 2 youngsters, the rookies, Stone and Hoffman on the power play. Karlsson, nice evasive move and a slap shot just wide of the net. Hoffman trying to make a pass to Turris, intercepted by Trevor Smith, and he gets the puck down the ice.
It's been a really streaky power play. It's gone through stretches 0 for 29, then 4 for 8, and then 1 for 9. And kind of the way the season has gone for the Senators, isn't it?
Stone made the pass back. Here's a chance for Hoffman with a shot that didn't get through, and Smith takes the puck and takes off to center. Erik Karlsson is back. I like the fact that Dave Cameron has elevated the roles of both Stone and Hoffman, the rookies who have been scoring with regularity. Karlsson made a nice play again, got to the net. Look at him play that puck in the air as it got away from him for just a second. But another confident-looking rush from Erik Karlsson, the captain of the Senators. Stuart Percy has him pinned against the boards. David Booth. Dropping in behind him is Santorelli. A long shot on Craig Anderson and an easy save, and he stops play, but it'll be a power play faceoff in the defensive zone.
Well, Karlsson's year, if you divide it between Coach McLean and Coach Cameron, not that much of a difference. The ice time down a little bit. You wondered earlier, Jim, if maybe there's not as many power plays. but the plus-minus definitely a difference, and with him heating up and putting the puck in the net, it's going to give the Senators a chance to get back into things.
Patrick Wiercott starts the power play to center. Cody Ceci on it. Ryan Jason Zibanejad in front of the net. 3-4 checkers for Ottawa, and the Leafs get a hold of the puck, and Morgan Riley sends it down the ice.
Twice level, guys. So what I see from Karlsson is a guy who cares, the guy who works, the guy who doesn't want to be the problem. He wants to be the answer, and that's a real good sign for a player. You know, his last shift was a good example. Here's a guy who recognizes a play where he can jump up in the rush. He's got numbers behind him. It's a shorthanded situation. Bye-bye. See ya. 2 Maple Leafs, 3 strides, and he's gone. And it's a 3-on-2, and that's the play you talked about, Jim. Twice out of the air with eye hand.
Looks like he sees the game in slow motion, though, doesn't he?
And as you know, there are periods of time for a lot of good players that go through that where everything slows down for them.
Much like a Paul Coffey type skater, it just looked effortless there. Hardly pushing his stride, but seems to get faster with every small push.
For a while last season and early this season, he seemed like it was a turnover machine, though. And that just hasn't been happening as much.
That is the give and take you get with that type of player.
Polak is back on. So the power play is 0 for 1 tonight. As Kadri got the puck to center and no further, Kyle Turris shoots it right back in for Ottawa.
And Jim, when you're not scoring, you hope that maybe a good penalty kill will give your bench a little energy, come out and get some offense going.
The offensive players come out, or the supposed offensive players. Kessel tipped the puck, didn't get it through to Van Riemsdyk, and Eric Ribas there to clear it away.
Guys, how much do you think is an issue with Alfredsson leaving? You look at Karlsson's first year, he lives with Alfredsson.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden, the guy, your mentor, he's gone. And you're looking around going, now it's up to me now? I'm the voice?
So it takes a while to settle in, you're saying?
Absolutely.
Kessel, cross-ice pass. Bobbling it was Roman Polak. He made the right read jumping in, but he couldn't take the pass from Kessel. Now he's battling to try and get the puck back. It's centered, and Eric Condra's there. To Curtis Lazar, and up to center. Conrad Lazar just got wiped out. There's going to be a penalty on the play. And his shot went just off the post from Curtis Lazar. There'll be a Toronto penalty coming up as Lazar got nailed.
And you saw Kadri back as a defenseman because Polak had come in, and he played it actually really well if he had made that hit instantaneously.
Here's Bobby Ryan, and a goal from Mika Zibanejad. With 20 seconds to go in the period on a delayed penalty call, 3-0 Ottawa.
Jim, so often on a delayed penalty, players stop playing. And this is one where Kadri's playing defense here. Polak's trying to get back. There's the delay and the big hit. But as the play went along, Kadri makes a change. Everybody's standing around. They back off the line. That creates an easy entry, a missed assignment. Kozak is coming on the ice for Kadri. And because of that change, he's late getting there. That response to the penalty being called.
Apparently he thought he had a good, clean hip check. It was going to be called a penalty, and now it's 3-0. The seconds tick down in the first period, and the misery continues for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Losers of 6 straight on the road in this road game. They're down 3-0, and they've only scored 2 goals in their last half dozen. 3-0 for the Ottawa Senators. Mike Hoffman leading the way with a couple of points after period number 1 on Wednesday Night Hockey, and here's Darren Millard. From the Canadian Tire Center, the Senators have a 3-0 lead over the Toronto Maple Leafs as Toronto's scoring slump continues. How do you work your way out of a slump like that, Craig Simpson, when you just can't seem to put the puck in the net? What do you do first?
Well, I think you have to compete. It's the energy that you can bring. It's the effort that you can give that can turn things around. And there's no worse example of it for the Toronto Maple Leafs than the last minute of a bad period. Okay, a good aggressive play. Nazem Kadri gets the penalty called, and instead of staying in the game. Look at a lazy change. Bozak comes on the ice. No effort towards the puck and shrugging your shoulders, blaming somebody else. That's a disappointing end to what was a very disappointing first period.
Glenn, pretty quiet down on the bench.
It is, but in that first period, we saw a special player make some special plays. So many little subtle things. Let's take a look at who it is. Oh, surprise, Erik Karlsson. Let's watch as he goes up the ice here, and right here, he takes a look, a little snapshot of the ice. I know I have a 3-on-1. I've got lots of time to put it in the back of the net. He is dancing tonight. You know, you've got bad Maple Leafs, but you also have some really good Ottawa Senators, and that was the first 20.
Here's how difficult it is, though, to catch up in the National Hockey League and make up ground. The Leafs have 1 win in their last 9, and Ottawa hasn't been able to catch them with their 1 win, 1 loss scenario that's been going on. But tonight, they can actually pass them, even though they'd be tied in points because they have games in hand. And there's a hard shot by Karlsson, just wide of the net, as the Senators pick up where they left off in the attacking zone. Mark Methot. Eric Condra, here comes Karlsson again. Pajot's with him. He tried to drop the puck off and couldn't. And an errant pass missed Bozak, and the Senators get the puck back again.
Here you see McCulloch in the penalty box for the Ottawa Senators, serving the rest of his fighting major. Dion Phaneuf, though, is not.
Here's a shot by David Clarkson with just wide of the net. In Bozak. Battle along the boards, and Daniel Winnick's there as well. He's engaged here with Jared Cowan. That's David Booth make that. On comes Matt Pratt. Takes the puck out of the corner, turns and fires, and Craig Anderson makes the save and hangs on.
Facing a compromising situation? We can help. Apply today at wiserfund.ca. No purchase necessary. Must be legal drinking age.
So down 3-0 for Toronto. They've got 2 goals in their last 5 games for the first time in franchise, well, not quite in franchise history, but since 1929, the year they allowed the forward pass, and the year there was 120 shutouts in 220 games.
It's just mind-boggling, isn't it? And the question is, how do you get out of it? And what we were saying at the beginning, I think as a new coach, what a difference for Peter Horachek. You go from being an assistant, trying to work with players, be a little bit of a conduit between the head coach and the players. Now, all of a sudden, you're looking down at your sheet and you're not liking what you see. And can you go into the dressing room and maybe tear the paint off the wall like maybe a head coach would? I don't think this is the time to do it. This is a fragile bunch that needs something positive to happen, but a really tough start for Peter Horachek.
They need to make something positive happen.
And again, get your head down, get playing hard, start taking the body, and when you want to score so badly, that's where it becomes almost impossible to achieve.
Well, we've all been on these breaks for the All-Star game, more me than you, Craig, and you know, you want to empty the tank. Most of these guys, only 2 going to the All-Star game, so you've got basically 38 guys that are going away for a couple days, and the last thing you want to have is not emptying the tank and cheating your teammates. So as much as this may be over and all that's left is start the jet, Toronto, make sure some good things happen before the break starts.
Off the draw, there's a shot by Gardner, and it's stopped by Craig Anderson as you saw the return of the captain Dion Phaneuf. Jake Gardner paired with Cody Franson right now, got the big shot.
Yeah, well executed face-off there. It goes right back, bypasses the initial man, but once again, Anderson, an easy save because nobody in front. A quick shot from the point that Anderson saw perfectly.
How many times has he caught the puck tonight?
Yeah.
You know, keep it away from your glove. He's got a good glove hand. He's pretty much going to catch anything.
That's 11 shots. He's probably caught 7.
And seen them all. I mean, you got to get a body in front of that face-off. Once it's won, somebody has to have the roll to get to the front.
Here's Gardner again to Phil Kessel, and the return pass, and there's a stick save for Craig Anderson by Mark MacArthur along the boards. Give away up the middle. There's the shot by Kadri, and it's stopped. Another catch by Craig Anderson.
You got a chance of a replay with Ben Riemsdyk in front. Into the glove, no chance.
Exactly. Just playing on the outside. Van Riemsdyk a little bit slow getting there. Gets boxed out by Greibe. I mean, that's a battle that you got to win. Van Riemsdyk's the biggest guy on the ice there, and he easily gets boxed out by Greibe, allowing Anderson to make the easy save.
Must be because of his age, but Craig Anderson can actually catch the puck. There's a lot of new young goaltenders who just knock it down and don't catch it. Connor with the drop pass. Chris Neal with a shot stopped by James Reimer. Jake Gardner turns back to get away from the forechecking of Eric Contra.
Hey, one of them that just had his number retired in Buffalo, Dominic Hasek.
Yeah.
I mean, his glove, he would basically sit it on the floor and stand on it. Make it like a big round frying pan. And then just knock everything down and cover it if he had to.
And so there have been a lot of copycats.
You know, no wonder the save percentage is so high. How many extra shots did Dominator get because they just happened to be laying there?
There's Mike Santorelli. Geeks in his backhand was a weak one that went off the side of the net. Santorelli, Josh Lebo, Richard Panik, Erik Karlsson up the boards. There's a hit by Panik that charged the puck loose. The Leafs got it back. Santorelli 1-on-2. Can't get away from the Senators. And Curtis Lazar got the puck out and he wants to get to the bench. His line's been on for a while. Cody Franson. Santorelli to the net. That's where Winnick was going. A backhander by Lebo. Didn't get through that crowd in front of the net. Didn't get by Erik Karlsson. Made the play in the corner, made another pass, and gets his team out to center ice. Chiasson, as the linesman, is dumped. Don Henderson right down in front of Glenn. And slow to get up. Bouncing puck through to the net. Reimer was able to turn that away, and the Senators send the puck down the ice, and it's an icing call, or the Leafs send it down the ice, an icing call against Toronto. This weekend, the NHL's best aim to entertain. Don't miss the NHL All-Star Skills Competition, Saturday, 6:30 Eastern. The All-Star Game Sunday at 5 Eastern on CBC.
Boy, veteran linesman Donnie Henderson's seen a lot, and he just is watching the play as Bozak jumps on, and it's Bozak and he that collide. They had a few good words to each other after.
Senators won the draw. Cowan kept the puck in for Chiasson. McCulloch bounced by Franson, but the puck comes to Cody Ceci just onside, and he just about let Daniel Winnick get away. David Clarkson bounced the puck in. Jean-Gabriel Pajot quickly cleared it for Ottawa. Tyler Bozak up the middle. Pass nowhere near Winnick, so the Senators get the puck back, and they've got some room. Here's Bobby Ryan. Got a pair of assists to his backhand. Now looking for someone to pass to, and Hoffman took the shot, but that one was blocked. Hoffman's never had a three-point game. He's got two in this one, and it's early. Here comes Matt Pratt. Trevor Smith shoots, and he missed the net. And another chance for Toronto goes for naught. Bouncing the puck in is Ryan. Here's Hoffman again with his shot. Trevor Smith is back. That one didn't get to the net either. David Booth. Trevor Smith chugs up the middle. Matt Pratt's over on the other side as Booth made a move at the blue line and put his teammates offside.
Speed comes in a lot of different manners, and it can be through quick puck movement. You can never skate fast the puck. There's an example. And then put it to a spot with a guy jumping up in the rush with speed. A guy, yeah, that is going to go to the All-Star game. Why not give it to an All-Star? But Ottawa Senators have done it all night long, and they look like a really fast team. Speaking of fast, the All-Star game skills competition, we're going to have some unique and neat technology where we're going to track speeds of players. I know you guys have been killing me about that. I've been doing it for a while. But we're actually going to have some real hard stuff that I think the fans are really going to like. So stay tuned.
Leafs lone All-Star Phil Kessel, and he's on the ice right now. Mabot to Karlsson, and he lobs one in on James Reimer, who makes the save.
When you think of Reimer's night, it's a tough start with that first one going in, but then afterwards made a couple of really good saves. Here's an example of the traffic in front. MacArthur gets boxed out by Riley. Riley does an excellent job of the last second clearing the zone. And Glenn, you wonder now, what's the goaltending after this break? Is it back to Bernier? Is he going to get the net again?
Well, you want results. you're just begging for results. You know, as a coach, just imagine. I need something from somebody.
I need a game out of the goaltender.
And you see the reactions of Peter Horachek on the bench. It's almost hard to watch because the results aren't coming from anybody. You've got a Kadri goal and a Roman Polak goal, and that's it for 6 hockey games.
Even a shutout lady would only get you a tie. Here's Morgan Riley in deep and in behind the net now, and the Senators are going to try and take advantage. That's Erik Karlsson in on Jake Gardiner. The pass to the front of the net. Reimer makes the save. On the backhanded tip by Curtis Lazar, who is going to the net. There'll be a penalty on the play.
Well, Panik's going to get the hooking call. Again, you try offensively. This has been the story of the night. Leafs get a chance one way, and it's an odd man rush the other. Karlsson ended up bobbling the puck as he looked up to try to find Lazar. Look at it, he's not even looking at the puck, loses it for a split second, but stays with it, and there at the last second, Richard Panik gets the stick into the hands of Lazar, and he goes off for 2.
And every time there's been a gambler, one of those attacking zone turnovers, it's been Erik Karlsson who's led the way.
Best player on the ice tonight for me. Most confident, most dominant, and it's not over yet.
There he is again on a power play, and that was an off-speed change-up that just about drops into the net. Karlsson back on the blue line. Zibanejad, Chesson, McCulloch up front. Daniel Winnick, very nice job of killing the penalty here, along with Trevor Smith. A 4-forward power play. Karlsson, the only defenseman, and he's a bit of a rover.
I was going to say, he's as much like a forward than any other.
David Booth chases after the puck. Won't get there before Karlsson. Bobby Ryan, in the midst of a change in the power play, advances the puck intended for Kyle Turris, broken up by Cody Franson. Trevor Smith hooked away by Bobby Ryan, so he couldn't get to the net. David Booth keeps the puck deep. Santorelli in the slot. This has been one of the Leafs' best shifts, and they're shorthanded.
It's hard to believe things could be worse during this stretch for the Leafs, but if it weren't for their penalty killing, they could be. They've been excellent over the last 5 minutes.
There's Clark MacArthur. Turns and feeds the puck across. Patrick Wierkosh stones in front of the net. Wierkosh shot. A rebound. Kyle Turris couldn't get a shot, so he hangs on to set up, and his pass is intercepted and cleared by Cody Franson. Anderson played the puck for Turris. It got by him, and Morgan Riley is back hard around on the boards for Nazem Kadri. He advances the puck and goes after it. Good sprint by Patrick Wierkosh to get to the puck. Daniel Winnick and forechecking. 10 seconds to go with a Panik penalty from the blue line. Percy. Roman Polak with a slap shot that missed the net and sends Percy all the way back down the ice to get a hold of the puck. A good penalty kill for Toronto as Panik returns to the ice. 5-on-5, almost 8 minutes into the second period. Ottawa with the lead 3-0. Ryan McCulloch sent the puck down the ice, and as Stuart Percy goes back, there's an icing call against Ottawa.
Well, here's a good example of a guy with a lot of swagger and confidence. He's being chased down by David Booth. Now, I don't even need to go 70%. I know I've got body position. I'm going to get the puck, and with one hand on my stick, I'm going to lay it up the ice. And yet, when you watch the effort level of Booth, it looked like Cindy Clausen. He couldn't have skated faster. But this guy just knows, no, I'm going to get it.
Senators break out after the icing call. Here's Mike Hoffman in the front of the net. Streaking in there was Pajot, and he couldn't get a stick on it. And Tyler Bozak gathers in the puck. With Clarkson and Winnick again. Morgan Riley will lead the way out of his own zone. Daniel Winnick standing still at center. Turns the puck over. A pass off the skate of Bozak. Chris Neal advanced the puck. Curtis Lazar is there. The fourth line is getting a little more ice time tonight with Lazar on it. Chris Neal threw a big hit. Long shot by Clarkson. Rejected by Craig Anderson. Knocked out of the air, so Bozak doesn't want to play it. Senators do. Look at the race for the puck. Here comes Eric Conrad. Franson just got there in time. Neal with his shot. would have been awful had Condra been able to get that breakaway and scored after Bozak let the Ottawa Senators get to the puck because it was going to be a high stick. There's an icing call now against Toronto. The Freak Show curtains are drawn one final time. This season of American Horror Story comes to an end when Dandy prepares for his debut performance. Will this be his first and last? Find out in the finale tonight at 10 Eastern Time on FX.
Probably will be if he has one of those beaver tails. They're about 14,000 calories.
Yeah. Here's Bobby Ryan alone in front. Couldn't get a good shot away. Wide open in front of the net. Carlson now. Jared Cowan fires a shot, and Reimer made a nice save. Cody Franson finally out to center, winning. Bozak's pass for Kessel, intercepted by guess who? Carlson to Ryan, to Carlson, poked away by Jake Gardner. And this is getting worse for Toronto instead of better right now. Hoffman with a centering pass, tipped away by Bozak and down the ice.
I tell you, if you're a left winger for the Leafs, you just have to have your head on a swivel every time because Carlson's jumping by you. You get caught watching for a second or turn the puck over, he's back the other way.
Here's Nazem Kadri. He's out net. He's blocked and escaped. Kessel's got to come back against Mark Stone. Franson turned the puck over trying to get out of his own zone, and the Senators are back on the attack. Turris against Franson. Stone gets the puck, trying to hack it to the front of the net. Kessel got it, and another neutral zone turnover. Shot back in by Ottawa. Anderson will play the puck. Toronto's changing. Patrick Wierkoch has Turris ahead of him, and Mark McCarthy streaking down the left side. A centering pass knocked away from in front of the net by Stuart Percy. Now he's in a battle, and there's a penalty on the play. There's going to be a hook called here. And it's a Toronto power play coming up as Turris goes off on Wednesday Night Hockey. Kyle Turris gets the penalty, but he's got a beef here because Stuart Percy could have had one.
That's the end of an offensive zone shift, but watch the left hand of Percy. There's a bit of a hold of the stick, and then Turris gets his in and puts his arms up, but the arm went up for the Ottawa penalty.
And this is not good news. We saw Phaneuf fight Mahalik, and he never came back to start the second period, sit in the box to serve his 5-minute major, and now he's on his way down the tunnel again. So let's stay tuned to that.
And the first power play of the night for Toronto, trailing 3-0. Features Bozak, along with Phil Kessel and James Van Riemsdyk, Jake Gardner, and Nazem Kadri. So it's a bit like the Ottawa power play. 4 forwards and a defenseman, but the defenseman is rather offensive.
The only issue I have is who's the big shot in the back end?
Kessel.
Here's a chance that the Ottawa Senators had to make it 4-0, and Ryan would like to have that one back. Carlson, Glenn's talked about all night. There's that ability just to read the play, jump up, and keep the Leafs defenders on their toes.
Okay, I'll rephrase my question. Who is the big shot from the back end that's going to score from outside 30 feet?
Power play 1 for its last 15. And Nazem Kadri has the only power play goal. That was against Carolina on Monday.
Got to get some bodies in front of Anderson here, too.
Jake Gardner. There's Kadri to the side of the net. Kessel in front, and it went off his stick on the pass from Van Riemsdyk. Shanked it.
And another shaking the head down the ice for Kessel. I mean, body language, he's just feeling like, what do I got to do to put puck in the net?
There's Kessel with some speed now. Drops the puck off for Van Riemsdyk. Hard around. Greiba got there. Kessel cut it off. Won't let the puck out. Jake Gardner. Cross ice for Nazem Kadri. He's got Gardner back at the blue line. Gives him the puck. Kessel's over on the other side, but the pass comes back to Nazem Kadri. Bozak in the slot. Van Riemsdyk. Kadri. Here's Gardner. Looks to the net. Passes off. Still no shot. Kadri looks across ice. He's looking at Kessel. The Van Riemsdyk for Kessel. Read perfectly by Condra. He got the puck away from the net. Gardner raced over to hold it in for a moment. Now it's outside the line. Pajot sends the puck down the ice. Condra will go after it for a second while his teammates change.
Well, that's a great pre-scout by the Senators there. Condra knew exactly what Van Riemsdyk was going to do. Seen that play so many times, and he got there before Kessel could get the puck.
Kadri couldn't get the puck in with control, and it's sent back down the ice again by Mark Stone. All over the ice in every facet of the game. Dave Cameron really relying on young players. Stone is killing Pajot since he's come up. Been a killer. He was a killer on a 5-on-3 in New York last night. Santorelli touches the puck, and the power play is offside with 20 seconds to go in it.
Well, as Dion Phaneuf comes up, Phil Kessel still wondering what he has to do to put a puck in the net. Just 2 goals in his last 16 games. You got a wide open net. The puck just jumps over his stick. And this is all the way up the ice. There's been a lot of those looks from Kessel.
Here's the rub for Condra. Do I take Bozak in the slot or Kessel backdoor? He effectively does both. Big night for Condra last night. Season high 6 shots, and at the end of the period, Dave Cameron went down to the bench. Condra all by himself, didn't play much, and it was all positive, all about you're going to get some ice, kid. And you're right, Jim. When you look at Cameron, he has trust in all 4 lines.
Santorelli with his shot, and Anderson makes the save. Well, if you're committed to youth, you really have to be committed to youth. You got all these good young players. Keep playing him as Eric Greiba gets some help to sit upright after he had to bail out. 3-0 Ottawa continues to lead. The Toronto power play has failed on Wednesday night hockey for Scotiabank.
Time now for tonight's bio, brought to you by Boston Pizza. Well, tonight it sends captain Erik Karlsson after a 15-game goalless drought. He has a goal tonight and 3 goals in his last 4 games, including that one last night against someone he's a big fan of, fellow Swede Henrik Lundqvist. Now, Dave Cameron calls him a freak of nature, says he's so gifted, so smart, his passion and competitiveness. 2 reasons he'll be around this league a long time. Jim?
Just 24.
I love the reactions of pointing to his teammates with great passes. You saw it tonight on the goal. Hoffman made the great pass. That was Turris that you saw there. And that goes a long way when you include everybody in the celebration.
Team always trumps individual, doesn't it? And that's part of being a good captain, is to bring you guys together as a team.
As Hunt said, energy. I mean, he really does bring a lot of energy to this lineup.
But it's effortless energy, it seems.
I don't know how he can play the way he does. That ability to skate just really changes how things you can do on the ice.
Bobby Ryan with Zibanejad turned back by Roman Polak. Here's Daniel Winnick with a shot. Anderson steered that aside off the referee, and it bounced back to David Clarkson and deflected up into the netting.
Well, Simmer, you mentioned him recognizes teammates for great passes that are made to him. How about this one? Facing the boards, blind, behind the back, through the legs, 1-2 passes out of the zone. Just magical. Reminds me a lot of another Swede that played for many, many years in Detroit.
Yeah, no kidding, huh?
Nicholas Lidstrom. And in Detroit, they used to clip all of the little Nick clips. And at the end of a career or a year, man, they had some absolute beauties of plays that only he could have made.
Leafs win the draw. Dion Phaneuf back again. Daniel Winnick off the boards, and here's Phaneuf with a crowd in front. Crowd right in front of him, too, as Chris Neal goes after him at the blue line from behind the net. The centering pass by Winnick didn't get through. Franson keeps the play alive. Clarkson scores! They can score. Franson kept it in. Clarkson batted it home. 3-1 Ottawa.
Yeah, the Ottawa Senators all get focused on the puck, and Clarkson just hangs around the net. This is a play that's a tough bouncing puck. Look at 3 bodies go out to the puck. It's a bouncing puck that just fools Anderson. It's a tough play for Clarkson. You don't want to try to overplay it because it's bouncing, and that quick backhander beats him over the blocker.
8 more inches out, and he takes away the angle. He's just a little bit too deep, and that's relief on the bench and relief for Clarkson. No points in 11. That's a start. Now some life.
Here they come again, and Van Riemsdyk was taken down. Back come the Ottawa Senators. Chasson to McCulloch. Leaf fans here are incensed there wasn't a penalty there on Ottawa. Van Riemsdyk gets the puck to center. Now the interesting part is to see how they follow it up. get a goal, get some life, top players on the ice, see what they can do. Nazem Kadri leads the way with Kessel and Van Riemsdyk. Pass to Kessel, hopped over his stick. Morgan Riley holds the puck in. Jared Cowan with the outlet. Clarkson is 10th from Franson and Winning at 13:55. Here's Phil Kessel, snaps a shot, missed the net. Cody Ceci off the boards. Bardstone to Pajot, and McCulloch, he dumps the puck in. Ottawa's in the midst of a change. Morgan Riley is back. Mark MacArthur from the blue line across the ice. Methot left the puck for Turris. His wobbler got right through to James Reimer on a deflection. Stone with Turris and MacArthur. Santorelli takes over. Leafs finishing a change. Riley with the outlet. Jake Gardner stripped to the puck at center. Back in comes Mark Stone. Turris to the net. MacArthur coming up. Tipped right on, and Reimer made a great save on Kyle Turris. After a neutral zone turnover, gave Ottawa another chance. Leafs finally have a goal, but still trailed by 2. David Clarkson has given them their first of the night. James Reimer and the Maple Leafs feeling like they're back in the game after David Clarkson got this one barely.
Well, watch the rolling puck, and Clarkson doesn't even lift it up. He actually hits the top of the puck right there, and it bounces off the ice up and over the shoulder of Anderson.
Well, right before that, this was the way the night was going for Reimer. Whoop! Toe pick, trips on the net. No luck for Reimer. And 30 seconds later, the luck comes on that very lucky play by Clarkson.
Oh, so now they finally score, and it's all luck.
Yeah, well, they
Something.
feel like they need some luck, so maybe that'll give everybody a little lighter feeling on the bench.
It is hard. Goal scorers and goaltenders, you rate yourself different than just the team results. You know, your goaltending looks at goals against, looks at save percentage. Phil Kessel, the team could win 10 in a row. If he doesn't score, he's not going home feeling good about himself. It's just the nature of those two positions.
I get a feeling Erik Karlsson might go home feeling good about himself tonight. Another dimension to his game. He's been physical lately, and he threw a big hit at David Booth. Here's Matt Fratton back in with Booth and Smith. There's a shot and a rebound up for grabs, and a quick whistle, but there's a penalty on the play. That's why the whistle went. It's an Ottawa penalty as David Booth was knocked down on by the blue line.
Well, it all started with Karlsson and Booth, and they're jawing as Karlsson's going to go to the bench. Steps up, and Booth thought maybe he got a little knee on knee there, but you're not expecting that from Karlsson. Karlsson took the hit from Booth here, but then responded and takes the penalty right here. No question about that.
An interference call against Karlsson. So what an opportunity for Toronto to get right back in this game. On a power play late in the second period, they have a goal, and the best player for the Ottawa Senators is in the penalty box.
And for me, I'm looking for Kessel. Forget about the bad body language and looking up and feeling sorry for yourself. Get focused and energized here. Get some pucks to the net.
Now in this power play, Phaneuf is back. Wasn't around for the last one, so it's Phaneuf as the shooter from the point.
Probably been the biggest difference with the coaching change is the power play percentage. 14% under Horachek. It was 20% under Carlisle.
Short-handed, Condra and Pajot back to the blue line. Cody Ceci with a shot just wide of the net. Sprawling is Reimer, and on the comeback off the boards, he's able to cover up, but the short-handed unit looked good again.
Yeah, they've scored 4 short-handed goals on the year. The Leafs have given up 6, and this is effort. And a nice play by Condra, who stays with this puck, stops on it, hits the trailer. Look at the battle in front. Reimer having to go through Pajot and his own defenseman, and he's able to find it off the backboards.
Watch Pajot, he stood up for himself there, didn't he? About 60 pounds less and 4 inches shorter, and yet he's up for the gamble, up for the fight.
Senators got the draw. McCulloch won it. Gryba sends this power play deep into its own zone. Kessel has to play the puck back and regroup. Leon Phaneuf with a long pass pass as he hears the boos to James Van Riemsdyk. The pass too hot to handle for Kessel. Oh, boy, just off the top of the glass.
Mark Methot just barely kept that one in.
Phaneuf. Van Riemsdyk. Kessel's behind him. Takes the pass. He has Franson over on the other side. Cody Franson in deep. Van Riemsdyk. Bozak shot. Anderson the save. Bouncing puck in the rebound. McCulloch's lost his stick and he just tackled a man and he got away with it. Phaneuf with his shot. Anderson gobbles it up. And now there's some real emotion in this game, and Milan McCulloch is real lucky that his team is not down 5-on-3 right now.
Yeah, I think you could have gone either way. I think they were equally as guilty as Bozak had lost his stick, so he was doing the grabbing as well. Probably a good non-call. Look at Bozak loses his stick. He's grabbing in, and it's the little turnbuckle down. I think it's a good non-call. Both guys were guilty of getting the gloves in there.
Still shorthanded for another 53 seconds for the Senators.
Phil thinks there should have been a penalty.
Senators win the draw. They've been better than the Leafs at that tonight. And they're not normally a terrific face-off team.
But nor are the Ottawa Senators.
Morgan Riley. Bounced hard by Jared Cowan. Santorelli to the blue line. David Clarkson. Toronto goal scorer. Kadri turns towards the net. Takes his shot. Anderson with a nice save and some traffic. And with his blocker, he steered that all the way outside the blue line. Jake Gardiner. Snaps a shot that was blocked. He almost got another chance at it. Santorelli's onto the puck. Carlson's out of the penalty box. Santorelli's shot was blocked. Carlson wants the puck at center. And he's got it. Morgan Riley is back. Here comes Condra. And the shot was stopped by Reimer. Santorelli back the other way. Clarkson to Santorelli. Stopped by Anderson. And he'll hang on because he needs a change here with 3 defensemen on the ice.
Well, the most active and dangerous guy all night gets out of the box, sees that it's going back the other way. I think originally he's looking to see if he's got anybody to give the puck to, finds that he's getting pressure from Riley and just throws one on the net and gives one back, and the Leafs almost got an opportunity with an odd man rush the other end.
Unpredictable, isn't he? He looks one way and shoots. Looks at a player to pass and passes to another player. As a goalie, you just can't get a read on what he wants to do with the puck.
5-on-5 again, Mika Zibanejad. Mike Hoffman in front of the net. Eric Gryba holds the puck in for Ottawa. Stuart Pearson. Got away from one check, moved the puck to Panik, and he got lucky. He lost that puck and took a swipe at it, got it out. Trevor Smith with a long shot. Anderson makes the save. Saskatoon's Eric Gryba back for the puck. Mike Hoffman to Mika Zibanejad. And they're turned back at center ice. So we reach the final minute of the second period. Pass up the middle. Kyle Turris tipped the puck in, but he hadn't made center yet. There's an icing call against Ottawa.
I think right now you missed that opportunity to get the momentum right back. You get the big goal by Clarkson, get the power play chance, and it's going to be a tough task against a pretty good defensive team in Ottawa in this game to come back in the third period down by 2. This is a big face-off here with 54 to go to try to cut it to 1.
Right guy taking it for Ottawa, Turris.
Yeah.
Kadri got it back, got a winger win. Dion Phaneuf with a shot, another blocker saved by Anderson. Kadri. Thought he was going to leave the puck for Phaneuf. Kessel. Pass is blocked. Kyle Turris chipped the puck away from it. Cody Franson coming back to the net. Turris has Hoffman in front, and he tapped his stick and wanted the puck. Turris couldn't get it to him. Just kept the puck in deep with 30 seconds to go in the period.
Good read by Franson there, Jim. He got on his horse. That big body was moving pretty quick to help out Kessel there on the turnover.
Straight back to the front of the net. Erik Karlsson turns and looks up ice to Turris. get the puck to MacArthur, but he just about hit him when he dumped it in. Morgan Rielly to Cody Franson, up the boards to Phil Kessel, and that'll just about do it in this second period. He'll turn back. 3-0 lead for Ottawa after the first period, the only goal of the second period. David Clarkson from Winnick and Franson at 13:55. So the Battle of Ontario has Ottawa ahead 3-1 on Wednesday Night Hockey as we send you back to our studio and Darren Millard. Ottawa, where the Senators will spend 10 of their next 12 games at a critical point in their season if they hope to get back into a playoff spot. And maybe they're starting a streak tonight against Peter Horachek and the Toronto Maple Leafs. That bench is the subject of our close-up for Pennzoil. Glenn.
Yes, 54-year-old coach Peter Horachek, and when you look at some of the reactions of these goals, goal number 1, bad pitch, 54 going on 58. Now let's get to 62 years old, another goal. The reaction says it all, and when you look at the drought that the Leafs have been going through, finally we get ourselves a goal late in the period. Strome, turnover, Kessel, the likely character, and again, the reaction from the bench. You know, this drought, you know, he, as a player, 3 years with the Oshawa Generals, Rochester, Flint, Saginaw, and Flint Spirits. I'm sure he's never seen anything like that, even as a player. 5 games, 2 goals. You said it, Jim, 1929 you have to go back to the last time that's happened, and all he's got now is 1 through 40. Someone's got to get him something.
It's a drought that makes Death Valley look like a tropical rainforest.
And standing next to Barry Trotz in Nashville, okay, maybe not the greatest offensive team, but nothing close to this.
There's a chance in front and hooked just wide by Daniel Winnick as the Leafs get off to a start that they might like. Mark Mathot. Erik Karlsson's partner lifted an aerial and a good recovery there by Stuart Percy. And back the other way comes David Clarkson driving wide on Karlsson, who smoothly just takes the man. Bozak threw the puck behind the net. Senators get it, and Milan McCulloch threw it out to center. There's an Ottawa penalty here because Daniel Winnick is down, and there'll be an early chance on the power play for Toronto to get close.
And is it going to be 4 or 2 searching for blood desperately? I don't think he's going to get it. Chiasson behind the net, just an errant stick. And this play made a nice play to get the puck up, but then slashed the stick and tried to lift it. Instead missed it and right into the eye area.
Third consecutive power play for Toronto, 0 for 2 so far.
I think here, Jim, you got to simplify too. A lot of passes, a lot of trying to make those down low plays. How about, as Glenn mentioned, who's got the shot? Well, now you've got at least Franson and Phaneuf back on the point.
They've gone back to that instead of Kadri here, where they only had 1 man back on the point, and they can set up on both sides. A little more conventional power play here with 2 shooters at the back end.
Well, Franson's really good at keeping his head up. No big slapper.
Get it through, right?
Wrister to the net, and it gets through. You talked about Nashville offense. That's what he did in Nashville. He was the second pair behind Shea Weber. Right-hand shot, great asset for that. But you got to get guys paying the price going in front of the net. What Anderson sees, Anderson stops.
Might want to get the puck too.
Oh, how about Pajot? What a great job of getting in there aggressively and just, killing off a good 20 seconds.
You can see why Dave Cameron uses him so much shorthanded. He and Conrad have been excellent tonight on the penalty kill. Up the middle, Bozak with his shot. There's a rebound, a swing and a miss out of the air. Phil Kessel hooks the puck back to Dion Phaneuf as Van Riemsdyk goes to the front of the net. There's Cody Franson, looks to the net, tries to get it through, just as you were discussing. And it went wide of the net and bounces out to center. Tyler Bozak with the puck. Decides to shoot it in and go after it. Stone was back. Leafs got the puck again. Franson on the open side. Phil Kessel gets the puck to the net. Kicked aside by Anderson. I think that was tipped out high by a Senator. Van Riemsdyk back to Cody Franson. Hard around for Phil Kessel as they're steered to the outside. Franson. That's not on the outside. That's into the glove of Greg Anderson, who makes another nice catch.
Well, Anderson really fought hard through that traffic, and the big body of Van Riemsdyk gets right in front of him, battling with Cowan, but little peek to his right and then anticipates that shot. Here's the beginning of the penalty kill, though. What a way to start. You put the puck down the ice. Look at 3 Toronto Maple Leafs come into the picture trying to battle for the loose puck, all 4. And Pajot does a nice job of killing time.
And he's still out there, or out there again against the second power play unit, and he won the face-off. Pajot's been over 50% since he's come up from the American Hockey League. Doesn't look like he's going back again the way he's been playing lately. Morgan Rielly leads the second power play unit to center, and they're running out of time. Has him Kadri, but got away from him, and Gryba couldn't clear it. Kadri, Condra close to hooking him. Rielly passes off. Kadri has Clarkson parked in front of the net. The pass comes back to Jake Gardiner through to the net, deflected into the corner. Quickly back to the blue line. Kadri to Morgan Rielly. Jake Gardiner. Clarkson is a preoccupation in front. Kadri shoots, scores! Anderson's going to argue that he was interfered with. A deflection out front. And the Maple Leafs are within 1 with a power play goal.
Well, real signs of life, and it's the first goal scorer. Watch the effort in front. Methot boxes out Clarkson. He couldn't get to the front of the net. He's engaged in a battle there with Anderson, but on the second time around, he gets better positioning. Look at Anderson's focus on hitting him. He's not focused on the puck. Puck comes through, gets a little piece of it, and a 5-hole goal there.
He's got a bit of a beef. But I think you're right, Craig. When you look at the chance where JVR was in front of the net and it was an easy glove save, not so much focus on the player in front. There, Anderson, all he could think of was 71. So Clarkson gets the first goal and is responsible for the second one.
Ready to give that goal to Clarkson. It was tipped after Kadri shot it.
That looked like he got a piece of it there, Jim. I can tell as a player when the goaltender's hacking you and talking to you, you're doing your job in front. Keep him preoccupied.
And it was the goaltender initiating most of the contact. Here's Patrick Wierkoch. 2 whole goals for the Toronto Maple Leafs. And they're within a goal in what is now a winnable hockey game for them. But some work to do yet. Daniel Winnick is in deep. Bobby Ryan. Down the ice goes Roman Polak. Icing's waved off. He plays the puck to Stuart Percy. Fan on his attempt to make a pass, and now he's in some trouble. Clark MacArthur has the puck into the slot. Ceci holds it in again, and Toronto recovers and gets the puck to center. David Booth with Trevor Smith and Matt Pratt, fourth line. Back is Clark MacArthur, a bounce off a skate. Booth took a shot that went into the corner. Roman Polak takes a shot that's into the glove again of Craig Anderson.
Oh, real good look for David Clarkson. This has been a bit of a redemption year for him. That's now his 11th. Let's have a look. Look like it might have been a bit of a waffler that Anderson at the top of his blue got 1 glove on the back and just gets pushed in. And then you're right, that is a gray area there, isn't it?
Well, your feet might be outside,
Yep.
but your keister's not. And that's what the guy gets paid for. I mean, he knows that's why I'm on that second unit. I've got to go there, and I'm going to be effective. I'm going to go to the edge if I go over. Chances are the referee's probably going to wave it off, face off outside, not going to call a penalty. So it's an effective play by him, and he gets his team back into this hockey game.
Puck's bounced out to center. Carlson was up after it, but the Leafs turn it back and send it deep into the Ottawa zone. Kyle Turris starts the breakup. Mark Methot to center. Clark MacArthur tripped at center, and the Leafs have the puck back. Jake Gardiner. Kadri had to come back and help. Whipped as he tried to clear it, and Methot's shot went wide. Carlson to Turris is not quite the pace and the crispness in the Ottawa game that they had in the first period.
No, and here's where playing last night should be in the favor of Toronto. Get a little energy, get the pace back up again, and see what the Senators have left in the tank.
Kessel in a battle there with Patrick Wierkoch. Van Riemsdyk. Wierkoch battles him now. Henry in the corner. Kessel's out front, looking for some open space. Curtis Lazar. Alex Chiasson. Up against Polak, he dumps the puck in. Stuart Percy is back. Lazar's the forechecker. In comes Chris Neal. Polak. To center. Tyler Bozak has a good look around in the slot. Clarkson stopped by Anderson. Bozak again. David Clarkson flips out front. Bozak trying for some open ice. The pass comes back. But takes a shot. Rebound. Winnick lifted it through the uprights and into the netting. The Leafs have really come alive here and come very close to tying it up.
It's amazing what momentum can do. A little bit of jump in the step for the Toronto Maple Leafs. There's the secondary chance as Winnick looks skyward. Clarkson just follow the play, stick on the ice, and a quick release. That's a good save by Anderson.
Winnick, Clarkson, and Bozak stay on. Bozak positions Clarkson right behind him. Pajot to take the draw against Bozak. Bozak won it, but not cleanly back to Clarkson. Now he's got a hold of the puck. His centering pass hit his skate, and Milan McCulloch starts out. The tangle up behind him. There's another one in the slot as Carlson takes the shot, and Reimer made the save. There were bodies falling all over the ice. McCulloch trying to keep the puck in. Carlson gambled, couldn't get a hold of the puck, but he forced Winnick back. Here's Dion Phaneuf. The pass back, Levo to the front of the net. What a save by Anderson on a little tip by Daniel Winnick. Here's Bozak again. Winnick again to the net. Anderson stopped back. Cody Franson takes the shot. Another nice save by Anderson. Here comes Dion Phaneuf with a sharp-angled shot that missed. Cody Franson in for Levo, and the puck climbed the glass and into the netting, and it's all Toronto right now. David Clarkson scored one, engineered another. It's a 3-2 Ottawa lead on Wednesday Night Hockey for Scotiabank. Love hockey? Watch it on Canada's fastest internet, as named by PCMag.com. Greg Anderson, suddenly the busiest man in the building.
Yeah, the shots are 11-1 now for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Nice job of coming out and challenging that tip by Anderson.
This is a lot like the Carolina game for the Leafs, where they out-chanced Carolina 10-3, but fell behind early and ran out of runway to get back into the hockey game.
But you got to out-goal somebody.
And that's what this next 13:30 is going to tell us.
Richard Panik. Puck deflected up over the glass and out of play. So David Clarkson has a pair. We were in the commercial break having a really close look at that last goal to see whether he tipped it. If it did, it was just a nick, and that was like his first goal too.
Yeah, just a hair in front. The first one was a funny bounce that he just hit the top of it and off the ice and in. Without question, if you look at the style of his game, that's where he's got to be. And you're a big body, you can fight in front of the net and battle defensemen, and when you get there, you can get lucky. Good reminder to other Leafs who are struggling.
From the blue line, here's Morgan Riley. Takes a shot, and he just missed. Snapped it good. Matt Pratt, David Booth, Trevor Smith is out front. Ottawa's been hitting in his own end a lot. Curtis Lazar just got nailed by Matt Pratt. Just about got Greiba, too. Eric Greiba ran into David Booth. Centering pass. The Senators have stopped skating. They can't get the puck. Greiba trying to clear it. Booth won't let him. Good fourth line shift for Toronto. Booth smeagles away from a check. Gets out front of the net. And the puck got away from Jake Gardner, but he's able to hold the line. Bratton tried to kick the puck towards the front of the net. Now Chris Neal finally has the puck to Condra. In this battle of fourth lines, Toronto clearly won that shift.
Cameron's got to play his fourth line with the game last night. With travel, he understands. It's rope-a-dope. We're in full retreat. I need some energy from some of my guys.
Jake Gardner to Morgan Riley. Gardner with a stretch pass. David Clarkson back on with Winnick and Bozak. Bozak with a backhanded pass into the middle of the ice, cleared by Kyle Turris to center. Stuart Percy sends the Senators right back into their own zone. Jarrett Cowan is back. to Turris and onto the boards. Clark MacArthur gets the puck out to Mark Stone. Up on the plate comes Cody Ceci. Shoots! And a nice catch by James Reimer. Just the second shot for Ottawa in the period.
Well, as the Leafs wrestle some momentum, if you're playing on the fourth line, even though Matt Fratton is known as a goal scorer in the American Hockey League and in college, you got to do something to stay in the lineup. Well, there's one way. Get an emotional shift, get a momentum shift, a good body on Lazar, a good back check on Condra, and that'll earn you some more ice time and some trust from your head coach.
Pajot, Chesson, and McCulloch out for Ottawa here, trying to turn this game back in their favor. They still lead, but they've been pressed back in their own zone for this whole third period. And there's still a ways to go. Erik Karlsson rings wide. Pajot. Percy takes the man. Kadri's back for the puck. Gave it away. Karlsson's shot. Tipped by Chesson just wide of the net. Chesson again, stays on it, tried to center it. Here's Stuart Percy. Roman Polak to center. A tip in by Van Riemsdyk. Karlsson is back. Kadri in the forecheck. Round on the boards. Chesson trying to get the puck out against Dion Phaneuf. Backing him up. Van Riemsdyk holds it in. Now Mark Methot looked around before he got to the puck. Tried to make a pass to McCulloch. Intercepted by Cody Franson, and back the other way come the Leafs. Phaneuf straight up the middle. Skipped on Kadri, then he shot just wide of the net. Mike Hoffman back. Senators with numbers at center, and they go offside as Ryan took a bouncing puck coming down the wing. It is the Super Bowl of Alpine Racing, and it's live this Saturday. Join Jim Van Horn and Brian Stemmel for the men's downhill from Kitzbühel, Austria, live on Sportsnet East, Ontario, West, and Pacific at 5:30 a.m. Eastern.
Well, then Kitzbühel, they'll be going down the hill pretty fast, and that's exactly what Pajot does here. That little foot race, that wind, that nullifies an icing and created a scoring chance for Ottawa.
Toronto with a breakout to center. They can't get cleanly there. The fourth line earned another shift right here. Right centered by Trevor Smith. There's Mika Zibanejad. Bobby Ryan. Mike Hoffman on this line as well. Cody Ceci in off the blue line. Centering pass blocked by Morgan Riley. Toronto's fourth isn't playing against Ottawa's fourth here. David Booth steps up to center. Matt Fratton is with him, and Trevor Smith, a long shot wide of the net. And then he'll send Mark Stone back the other way. There's Fratton trying to catch him, and he bounced off and fell. Off the middle, Clark MacArthur gets the puck. He's got Stone in front, rings the puck around for Eric Gryba. His shot into traffic, tipped into the air by Mark Stone wide of the net, and Fratton gets the puck. Just got that outlet pass through. Smith to Booth, to the net. There's a rebound, swatted away by Patrick Bierkosch to center. It's a nervous crowd in here now with Ottawa hanging on to a one-goal lead as Percy dumps the puck back in for Toronto again. Pollock is back with some help from Methot. With Pajot up against Roman Polak. He can't get by that way, so they'll try the other side. Gryba with an outlet. Got by Phaneuf and down the ice. Icing's waved off. That hit a skate. Polak is back. Daniel Winnick gets a return pass from Bozak. Dion Phaneuf. A little tip in by David Clarkson. Bozak first onto the puck to Daniel Winnick. Winnick's had all sorts of chances, but no touch around the net tonight at all. Winnick back to the blue line. Phaneuf shoots. Anderson the save. Again, Clarkson the preoccupation in front. This time Anderson stopped the puck. 8:28 to go. The Leafs have now had 35 shots. The Senators in full retreat, but still have a one-goal lead. Erik Karlsson is the subject of Anything for Hockey, brought to you by Molson Canadian.
And it's about communication. Yes, he communicates to the hockey world with this great luck in hockey here. I got swagger. I can carry it off. To my teammates, I communicate to you, that was a pass. That's a goal. All the way down the bench. Little spin of the saber. pat on the back, and then as he has a nice communication with Don Henderson, yeah, my hair's parted, yours is departed. Hey, think of that. What a night he has had.
But it could all go for naught if they're not careful here. The shots are 13-2 Toronto in the third period, and they close to within a goal.
And Horchak goes right back to the Bozak line. They've been the most effective here in the period.
There's a giveaway, and Winnick keeps the puck in as Mathot couldn't get it out. So Bozak will battle on the boards with Clark MacArthur. Leafs are winning all these little battles here in the third period. Mathot against Winnick again. Turris to MacArthur. The puck's jarred loose. Leafs get it again. Jake Gardiner with a spin to get away from Erik Karlsson, who was out of the blue line. David Clarkson. Riley to Gardiner. One-timer deflected in front of the net and wide, and Clarkson was knocked down, and the Senators get away to center. Mark Stone advances the puck. And gets in after it himself against Morgan Riley. MacArthur in front. Can't get a shot. Kicks back to the blue line. Jared Cowan to Cody Ceci to the net. That was tipped by Stone, and Reimer made the save. He hasn't been very busy, but he needs to be absolutely airtight now. Nazem Kadri trying to get away from Stone. Again.
He got away with two of them. He almost got a hooking call and then slashed the stick right out of Kadri's hand there. Saw the referee flinch, but he didn't get the arm up.
Leafs have had the last 3 power plays. Kessel with a centering pass that went off the back of the net.
Well, everyone's trying to sell a call now, and the referees have watched 3 or 4 plays that are questionable and have decided, okay,
Let the players, right?
yep, if it's the integrity of the game, the whistle's in my pocket. Because you do trust the players. And when they let you down, you stop trusting them.
Hoffman got the puck deep. Senators with quick shifts here, trying to work the clock. Still 6.5 minutes to go as Gardiner is knocked down. Kessel got the puck. Couldn't quite gain center. He dumped the puck in. Icing waved off. Greiba is back for the puck. Finally, in the third period, the building livened up, and they're battling each other with chance. Roman Polak. Leafs have to keep their foot on the gas here. David Booth tries to lead them in that regard. Trevor Smith with it. Mike Santorelli's out on this line. Greiba up the boards. Neal took the man, so the puck went through to Eric Condra. He's got Lazar with it. Curtis Lazar stuck by James Reimer. The puck ends up in the corner. That roof would have come off this place if Captain Junior Canada had a score. There's a hard shot by Karlsson, deflected by Polak, out of play. Down to 5:22 to go in the third. It's Wednesday night hockey from Ottawa, brought to you by Scotiabank. Man, you seldom see without a smile on his face, and would he have been beaming had this one gone in, Glenn?
He would have sealed the deal, just like he sealed the deal for Canada in the World Juniors by capturing gold. He talked about that World Juniors tournament. Said, I've never heard a louder building in my life. Said, I learned something too. Like when the coaches say, get it out at the blue line, or get it in at the blue line, or make sure you have good defensive responsibility. I get it now. It means something because of the magnitude of the World Juniors. So the first time Canada wins gold since 09 when Tavares was the MVP and Everly had that great tying goal. Russia couldn't catch a puck. Just electrified our country. It would have electrified this building tonight.
Dave Cameron might need that line here again before this one is over as he tries to steer this home. They've got some energy. And there's a few of his players that don't have much left. Here's Dion Phaneuf. Chiasson got the puck away from him. Cycles it back for Pajot. He was no match for Cody Franson. And he comes in after the puck. Milan McCulloch. Karlsson wants the puck. He shoots. He scores! Second of the night for the captain, leading the way, and his his eyes lit up when Milan Michalek got the puck.
And this, to me, is about winning battles down low. Nice job of Michalek keeping the puck alive. Good support by Pajot. But for a goaltender, you have to know who's on the ice. And Reimer is not expecting a shot, Glenn. That's one that comes back. Karlsson's there anticipating it. And Dak back deep in his net was Reimer and getting beat over the glove.
Now he's got to have it. There's no traffic in front. It's a catchable puck. It's not at the top part of the net. It's actually halfway up the net. That's your glove side. That's got to be your bread and butter. And you said it best. One Senator against two Leafs, Senator win. One Senator against two Leafs, Senator win again. Back to the point goal.
Karlsson was so ready to shoot as soon as that puck got there. He just hammered it, and he has the second of the night, his 11th of the season. It's 4-2 Ottawa. A little breathing room that had been taken away from them. In the midst of this youth movement, Milan Michalek has found his legs in a bit of a scoring touch, getting some points again.
Yeah, he was a dark hole for a while, wasn't he? There was not much offense from him.
There's Mike Santorelli, holds up and shoots. Anderson makes the save, and he hangs on.
The best scoring chance of the period was Curtis Lazar. The only scoring chance of the period. This isn't even a scoring chance. Deep, down. And if you look at where this puck goes in the net, that's not top shelf. It's not barred down. More towards the back part of the net. It's a short side goal. The timing of it stinks. Teams back in the game. They outchance, outplay the Senators all third period. You still have lots of time. Now you got to get 3 to win.
See, there's been a change on the second Leaf goal now, too. If you had Kadri in a pool, he got the goal now. We've taken it away from David Clarkson. They'll not take that away from Erik Karlsson, who was in his wind-up before the puck arrived. Maybe that's part of the reason that the goaltender was surprised. There's another shot by the Leafs that's knocked down, and who started the scoring tonight. Mike Hoffman holds up and gets the puck deep off Dion Phaneuf. In comes Bobby Ryan. Hoffman's in front. The centering pass didn't get through. Ryan again. Turn to get away from Polak. Gets away from Kadri. Plays the puck back to Method on the other side. Karlsson again shoots, and this time James Reimer catches it. And it was pretty much the same spot, wasn't it?
It was, but it was an easier read. And that's one where Reimer knew exactly where the puck was going to. I think the last time, as you said, it came back so quickly and was right back to him. This one took a long time. That's a long pass, side to side, a delay. And Zibanejad just didn't quite get that away. At the other end, Karlsson with a nice block that started it, and immediately going back the other way were the Ottawa Senators.
Morgan Rielly off the faceoff. A 2-goal deficit now. Just over 3 minutes to go. We'll watch and see if there's an early hook here for James Reimer to get him out of the net for an extra attacker. Wide, Daniel Winnick. It's the trainer, Rielly, lost control of the puck. Mark Stone does the wise thing here with a 2-goal lead late in the game. Just got the puck deep and went after it. Clarkson takes a bump from Pajot as he gets the puck through center, and Toronto is changing. Santorelli off the bench. He's playing with Booth and Smith now. Time-killing shift for Alex Chiasson. Not trying to get the puck to the net, just trying to keep it in the attacking zone. Gardner to center. Santorelli on the wing. Goaltender to the bench for the extra attacker. The net is empty. Alex Chiasson just missed it. And he so badly wanted to end the long goal-scoring drought. Still an empty net. Trevor Smith back for the puck. Santorelli and Booth on the ice here with the goaltender out. The big boys on that Toronto bench are having their legs over the boards. They want to change here.
How about a potential hat trick for Karlsson? Wouldn't that be a stamp on a big night?
And there he is, smoothly back after the puck, and Didn't quite get to center, so there's an icing call, and Reimer's got to come back in.
You know, you think of the miss the open net, what it can mean and allow a team to get back in. You mentioned it, Jim. Chiasson with no goals in 15. It would have been a double whammy. Secure this win, but maybe take a little light load off of his shoulders. Instead, just barely missed.
So the net must look like one of those little mini stick nets to him.
Exactly.
He's been shaking his head the whole time.
Yeah.
He's come back to the bench.
He goes, I had the chance to get off the schneid.
Leafs get the draw, and as Gardner skates to the blue line, so will James Reimer. Here comes Phil Kessel with a shot. Big rebound, and Riemsdyk scores! Don't go away quite yet. It's a one-goal game with 1:23 to go in period number 3.
And that's why it's not being selfish, putting those in the empty net. It means something. This game's over if Chiasson hits that empty net. Instead, a simple play. Now this one for Phil Kessel, it's been a frustrating time, a frustrating night, but this is a planned shot to create a rebound. And Glenn, I know it's difficult for a goaltender, but that's one Anderson has to do a better job controlling.
Well, a lot of goaltenders say back in my day, you have used your stick there and deflected it just into the crowd. Take your face off, no chance for a rebound. Pad technology makes it where you don't even need a stick. You put your pads on the ice, nothing goes underneath it. Almost like wooden boards on the 5-hole. Lots of life from them. But we talked early in the game, keep it away from his glove. They did, caught everything. There was no rebounds. That's a savable puck, but the rebound isn't.
JVR first to 20 on the Leafs. He beat Kessel to 20 goals. Kessel and Gardner get the assists at 18:37.
Well, and all Chiasson was looking to do is get to 8 goals, and this game's over. And as the Leafs well know, crazy things can happen. You think back to the 4-1 lead they had in Game 7, and all of a sudden lost it. Well, they're looking for a little bit of a turnaround here, and this minute 23 seconds left just takes on such a different vibe for the Ottawa Senators because of it.
It's Gardner out on the ice with Cody Franson again, and Bozak won the draw. Reunited here with James Van Riemsdyk and Phil Kessel. On comes the extra attacker, it's Nazem Kadri. So the net empty. Leafs are a long way from the Ottawa goal right now. Here comes Kadri down the left wing. Cross ice to Cody Franson. Intentionally wide, he bounced the puck in deep. And now around the outside, they have control. Jake Gardner, Cody Franson, great battle going on in front of the net. Van Riemsdyk's in it with Jared Cowan. A deflection, and Gardner had to be quick, and he was back to get the puck.
What a play by Stone, though. Good stick and aggressive play at the line.
Kadri with the shooting. Van Riemsdyk in after it. And a play is stopped on an offside call with 39 seconds remaining. They're going to bring the faceoff all the way back on an icing call.
It's right in front of me, and he did not get the red line.
Center.
He was about 8 inches away from the red line.
That's a killer.
Another step, and you keep the pressure on. He's getting pressured on both sides. Yeah, that's a good call.
So the goaltender has to come back in, but more importantly, there's only 39 seconds left.
The Leafs get a little bit of a break here, Glenn, too, because of checking the time to make sure that the clock is right. But you've got some tired bodies who are thinking offense, and now they get to settle in and get a little rest.
Here again, Dave Cameron goes with Jean-Gabriel Pajot to take the face-off.
They put 1 second on the clock. Remember that. That might come in handy.
Bozak won the draw. Kessel has the puck. That Gardner. Kessel now has the puck. Gardner gets to the bench. He had to get out of the way of the play, and the puck is shot just wide of the open net. Chiasson again with a hard slap shot. Didn't quite get through, and a second chance was blocked as well. He still can't hit the open net. There's a chance for Kessel with the puck at his feet. Gardner went up and held the line. Morgan Rielly with a shot that was blocked. Kadri had the puck poked away. Gardner dives to keep the play alive. Van Riemsdyk to Kessel in front of the net. Puck is knocked away. Pajot got it and saved the day for the Ottawa Senators. They hang on for a 4-3 victory over the Toronto Maple Leafs. The 3 stars from Molson Canadian. Erik Karlsson with a wonderful night and a pair of goals. Mike Hoffman with a goal and an assist. He'll be off to the All-Star game. And Jake Gardiner with a couple of assists is the 3rd star of the game. The Toronto Maple Leafs have now won only 3 of their last 17. The worst stretch for them in 25 years.